Pizza, the perfect Friday night meal. After a long week of working, cooking, and running around, who doesn't love to come home, cement their butt to the couch, and order some delivery pizza? Back when I was a kid, every Friday night, it'd be the same thing for me. Mom and Dad, can we get a pizza? Can we get a pizza? And sometimes I'd get lucky and then get a pizza. And now that I'm an adult with children of my own, when my kids come home on Friday after school, they say, Dad, what can we have for dinner tonight? And I'll proudly answer them, Pizza, son. Pizza. Now go clean your room. Sometimes I wonder how much my love of pizza comes from my childhood love of the Ninja Turtles. They ate pizza in nearly every episode, and they ate it in the movie, and in coloring books, and in comic books, and pretty much everywhere. I remember even getting a Ninja Turtle How to Make Your Own Pizza book from Troll Book Orders, or whatever it was called, in elementary school. And yes, I did make my own pizza, and I put cereal on it to be just like the Ninja Turtles. And guess what? Not good. Not good combination. No. Like, could you imagine being a pizza shop owner back in the early 90s? The Turtles probably put your kids through college. I bet every now and then pizza shop owners and martial arts instructors get together, have a beer, and talk about the good old days when every kid just wanted to eat pizza and be a ninja master. There's so many toppings to choose from on your pizza too, like pepperoni, sausage, extra cheese, mushrooms. What's your favorite pizza topping? Is it rat, fish bones, and ninja stars? Or is it crushed baby turtles with pepperoni? Oh, that's awful. No, that's not for you. There's only one repulsive pizza chef who would ever disgrace pizza like that. The putrid, puke-inducing Pizzaface. Pizzaface was released in 1990. As I mentioned in my Scumbug and Muckman reviews, 1990 was the height of the gross factor in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. It was the third year of the toy line, and things were getting zanier and disgustingly creative. After 90, things were still cool, but they dialed everything down just a little bit. So Pizzaface is one of those toys that I never had as a kid. To be honest, I never really cared to pick him up because he was a human. And human figures in TMNT never really appealed to me as much as the anthropomorphic animals. I was stupid as a kid. There's a lot of really great things about this guy, so I probably shouldn't have dismissed him as much as I did. I think there are a lot of really cool things on him, a lot of great, gross detail. I wouldn't say he's a perfect figure. I think he definitely has some problems, including his articulation. I think his articulation is very stiff and doesn't allow you to get him into cool poses. I do really like his face a lot. I think that is one of the coolest things. He looks so creepy, To me, he looks like a mutant you'd possibly see in like a trauma film. Or did you ever see the movie Dead Heat? That zombie cop movie? He kind of reminds me of that. I also kind of think that he looks a little bit like the adult on You Can't Do That in Television. Like, there's just something about it that just seems kind of weird looking. I don't know. On the back of Pizzaface's card, it mentions that Pizzaface is Shredder's crazed culinary creator. He had a plan to become the most powerful pizza chef ever, so he zapped himself in his retro-mutagen oven, hoping the energy would bake him with badness, but the hungry turtle teens burst into the parlor and pulled Pizzaface out, so now he wants revenge for foiling his formula. Before I take a deep look at the Pizzaface toy from 1990, let's take a quick look at Pizzaface, the comic and cartoon character. If you've always loved that toy from 1990 and wish you had more of Pizzaface and wanted to see him in different styles and whatever, I've got some bad news for you. Pizzaface barely shows up at all, like hardly ever. He was not in the Mirage comic books. He never made any appearance whatsoever in any of the Adventure comics, which seems a little crazy. And he hasn't even shown up yet in the IDW comics, which is even crazier because the IDW comics has really tried to milk the Playmates and the old cartoon and, mix them all together in this brand new version. And like I said, Pizzaface does not show up at all. Pizzaface did not show up in any of the video games. The only real game that I can think of that he showed up in is this Monopoly game from a couple years ago. So he did make it there. And, in this game, they used, artwork from the cartoon. Everybody else pretty much has artwork that showed up in the show. But Pizzaface was not in the original Fred Wolf cartoon. So this looks like they took a picture of the toy and then traced a black outline around it because, like I said, it's like a perfect match. As I said before, Pizzaface did not show up in the original Fred Wolf cartoon, but his one accessory does say Ninja Pizza. And if you've ever watched the cartoon, you'll know that in the very first episode, Turtle Tracks, the Ninja Turtles go to Ninja Pizza. So because Pizzaface wasn't in the original cartoon and you only have this like slight nod to Ninja Pizza, this kind of brings up the question, like, will NECA start to put out characters who, appeared in the original toy line but weren't on the actual show? Like, sort of given like their take on Pizzaface, like, this is how he would have looked if he was in the cartoon. Like, I kind of would like to see like Fred Wolf versions of, Pizzaface or Hothead or, even Ray Fillet, because, Ray Fillet was in the cartoon, but he was, like, completely different. Pizzaface did not show up in the 2003 show. Finally, after, 24 years, Pizzaface returns. He showed up in the 2012 cartoon during the second season. The episode was called Pizzaface. And the Pizzaface featured in this episode looks completely different than this original figure from 1990. I think that the design looked cool, but I don't think it's as creative or original as that 1990 toy. I mean, he's just kind of like a giant pizza. But I really love this episode. It's kind of creepy, and I really like it. I think it's a good one to watch. If you're ever going to pick a Ninja Turtle cartoon to watch, this is definitely one of them that you should watch from the 2012 cartoon. In this episode, Pizzaface is a mutated pizza chef named Antonio. He found one of the canisters of ooze that the turtles accidentally dropped on the city a couple episodes before this, and he decided to taste it, hoping it could be a new pizza topping. Would you try this stuff? Nah. This mutated him into a giant pizza monster, and in this form, Pizzaface makes sentient pizzas that beg you to eat them. But when you do, you become one of Pizzaface's mindless zombies. Why would he do this? So he can wrap you up in a calzone and eat you. Yeah, that's his whole plan. He just wants to eat people. I love this episode. Like I said, all the episodes where Mikey saves the day are really great and fun in this cartoon. This episode and Parasitica from season 1 with the parasitic wasps, those are great. They show that Mikey isn't just a goofball, and they're just, like I said, they're creepy. I like that these cartoons get very creepy. I like that a lot. Pizzaface also makes a brief cameo in the Season 3 episode, Meet Mondo Gecko, and in the Season 4 episode, Journey to the Center of Mikey's Mind. Okay, so that was a very brief history on Pizzaface. Like I said, there's not much there. So finally, let's take a look at the figure himself. So first off, I want to say that I really like the detail on this guy. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot of different types of detail. It's mostly the same kind of detail. It's mostly this kind of like goop and sauce and stuff like that on him. But I like that they did include all this. It really brings this character to life. I like that he actually has 3 different colors of goop on him. He's got red, green, and yellow. So in my opinion, it'd be like pizza sauce, ooze, and mustard. And I think this guy looks hilarious and just kind of creepy and goofy and gross and horrifying at the same time. I like that, he's got this ooze gooping from his mouth. I love his nasty teeth. Like, that looks awful. Like, you don't want to eat pizza made by this guy. I love his huge bulging eyes. That's pretty cool. And, just like every other Ninja Turtle toy from back then, of course you have spots here which are unpainted. Like on the hat here, like this would be like pizza sauce, most likely. And I like his mustache. And so on the back of his head here, you got more spots here of unpainted ooze or detail. And then you do have like a ponytail or a rat tail, which is pretty funny. But it's not painted. I would imagine that this guy would be bald. I will tell you in a minute what's actually supposed to be under this hat. But just give me a second. We'll get there. You got more unpainted parts of goop. And then on top of his hat here, you have a piece of pizza and a fly. That's pretty cool. Now, Pizzaface was actually going to be even creepier than this toy is. Originally, Pizzaface was going to have a removable hat and an extra head underneath, kind of like a parasitic twin. This would have given me nightmares. I love this, though. It's really a shame that they cut this out and didn't include it. I got this picture from the Facebook group TMNT Prototype Collectors. So go check that out. You see lots of crazy, awesome things there. And you can actually buy this head on eBay. There are people that have been making this and selling it on eBay. So if you want to replace the head on your personal Pizzaface, you can. All right, so on to Pizzaface's torso here. Now, on the front of this one, this knife is unpainted. Now, keep this in mind because I'm going to talk about a variant in a little bit. But on this version, this Pizzaface, from whatever factory this came from, this one is unpainted, right? And you have some other spots here that looks like that could be some pizza sauce that's unpainted. You turn it around, and this looks like a shaker of some kind. I'm not sure what that could be. Maybe that's Parmesan or maybe that's garlic. Then you have a knife, and it almost blends completely in with his body. Like you barely even notice that. Right here, this looks kind of like a bottle, maybe sort of like a pizza sauce bottle, so you can squirt it into the pie. Up here, you have a rip, but it's completely painted in. Now, this bottle right here, this actually looks sort of like a measuring cup of some kind, but I'm not too sure about it. It looks like there's actual notches scratched into the side of it. And then over here, you have a turtle stuck in a mousetrap. Now, man, these turtle villains were diabolical. They were just slaughtering every single turtle in the New York area in the late 80s and early 90s because every single one of these villains has like a dead turtle on their body somewhere. All right, so let's get to his arms. And here you get a lot more cool detail. You got a Band-Aid up here. You got like stitches. That's cool. You have a mom tattoo on his arm, which is, that's your pretty stereotypical villain thing. You got to have the mom thing in there because he's a bad guy, but he's not so horrible that he doesn't love his mother. This looks like you have like hair scratched in here. And then you got another spot here where you have some unpainted pizza sauce. Now, I do like how his fingers are so he can hold the pizza. And I just think it's cool because you don't ever get these weird like positions for people's hands and toys. Like you always have like a flat hand or like a grabbing hand or a fist. So it is cool to see something where he's got his fingers sticking out in different ways. That is cool. All right, so let's move on to this arm over here. You got a bug here. You have another line of stitches here. On the back, you have some more unpainted goop. You have more arm hair. And then you actually have stitches that go all the way around his wrist. So at some point, I believe that he had his hand cut off and they stitched it back on, which is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Up here, you have some more pizza sauce. And then what's really cool here too, and this is from the prototype that you can actually see it a little better, I think. Or maybe it's on the back of the card. You can see it a little better. You see this? This is his pinky, and his pinky has been cut off, right? And I'm pretty sure on the back of the card they actually painted this red there, so it actually looked a little bloody. And of course, they couldn't do that for the actual release, but it's just kind of cool that that's how it was. All right, let's move on to the legs. You got a piece of pizza here. You got this cool little shoe with the rip, so his toes are sticking out. You got more stitches on the side here. And you just have more unpainted goop over here. Now this leg over here, this peg leg, is actually pretty interesting because this is actually an accessory, and you can actually remove this and put his cleaver in there instead if you don't want him to stand with this thing. There you go. You just click it back in. Now, when I was a kid, I was a little confused on what this actually was. I wasn't sure, but now as an adult, I know that it's actually a pizza cutter. Like it would be round all the way through, which is pretty cool. That's a nice little touch there. I always thought maybe it was like a spear or like just some kind of bladed thing. I guess because I was just a little naive little kid. Now, what I really like about this pizza box peg leg, and it's hard to, let's see here. I'm having a hard time making sure that I get everything in here because of the way that it's like such a flat piece of plastic. We'll just take that off. All right. So if you look at this thing, what I really like about this is that this red stuff here, right, it could be pizza sauce, but it could also be blood, right? You know, it actually looks kind of creepy, and you're not sure what's in this pizza box. It says turtle pizza. Are there turtles in here? Is he cutting them up? I mean, if you look here, there's actually a bug cut in half. You see the front of the bug here and the back of it here. He cut right through that thing. And then you also have some fish bones, some pepperoni, and on the side here, you can actually see bugs trying to escape from this box. You got a bug there. This looks like it would be pizza sauce. You got a fly on top. And where is it? Somewhere. There. There's actually a piece of pizza here that's unpainted. So, you know, when Super 7 finally gets to their Ultimates of Pizzaface, it'll be very awesome to see all these things completely painted up. So I think that possibly the other reason why I wasn't so keen on Pizzaface was because of his peg leg. I don't know, I guess I got a thing against people with peg legs because, I don't know, it just didn't seem that cool or something like that. Like, I think there is something cool about it. Now I'll say that there definitely is something cool about it. But as a kid, I was just like, he doesn't have a leg over there. What's up with that? So, like I said before, you can actually take this out, and you can take the Clever Cleaver and stick that up there. You just got to find the right spot. And it does a really good job of, you know, of balancing him if you don't purposely knock him over. Sometimes. So if you wanted to balance him on the Clever Cleaver and use like the pizza cutter as a weapon, you can do that. It does fit in his hand, but I don't know. It doesn't work out so good. I mean, this thing is just way too close to his face. So that's not good. The Clever Cleaver is definitely way better than this. So if you put the Clever Cleaver into his hand, you know this works a lot better. You can rotate his shoulder around and you're not hitting him in the head with the Clever Cleaver. You know, that's all good. But like I said, his articulation is very limited. Even more limited than the usual Ninja Turtle toys, right? Because the Ninja Turtles, they usually have a neck joint, a shoulder joint, and a joint down here. Either whether around the elbow or the forearm, there's always like 2 joints in the arm. And the legs are usually ball joints, but he does not have ball jointed legs either. So he's very stiff. And, you know, that's not cool because, like, if you have the Clever Cleaver in his hand, you can never, like, make it look like he's actually using it to fight people. It's more of, like, a threat kind of weapon. You know, even if you kind of, like, were able to rotate his hand out, that would possibly be better because you could kind of, I don't know, make it look more like he's swinging it at somebody. But you can't do that. All you have is shoulder joints. You know, you got nothing down here, which is such a bummer. The head joint works well. It does spin around. That's all good. Down here, like I said, you don't have ball joints in the hip. This one just kind of rotates forward and back. And then this one over here just rotates 360 all the way around. Moving on, let's talk about Pizzaface's accessories. Up first, you have this pizza box shield. And like I said earlier, it says Ninja Pizza, just like in Turtle Tracks. And then you got some cool, you know, you got tons of little things and details in here. So first, you got like, you know, you have all this squished like pizza sauce shooting out of this thing, which like pizza sauce wouldn't like freeze like that if you're holding this up like this. It'd be dripping down, right? But come on, we'll give it to him, all right? So you got like some foot symbols on here. You got one there. You got one there. You have some ninja stars. You got a ninja star there. You got a piece of pizza. You have some bullets in here. You got another piece of pizza. There's a grenade. And then, of course, you'll notice that there is a sword going in from the top here all the way down to the bottom there. And in the back, you don't really see much of anything. If you want, you can have Pizzaface hold the pizza box shield in his left hand while he throws his propelling pizzas at the Ninja Turtles. Or you can actually pull the shield out of this hand and kind of stick it in between these 2 fingers like that. That way he can now attack with the Clever Cleaver. This is the Clever Cleaver. Now, I already mentioned this before because you can switch this out with the pizza peg leg, and Pizzaface can actually use this as a leg. You know, this is pretty cool, but it's also a little bit simple. Like, there's no texture at all where the, you know, the handle is the wooden handle. The only real texture is like the cracks in the middle of the blade, which I assume is from trying to cut open the Ninja Turtle shells. They're just too thick. Up next, you have 2 propelling pizzas. Now, these are pretty cool, and they fit in his hand really well. You just kind of stick it in between the fingers, and you're good. Now, this is one of those things where this probably could have been like an action feature, like if they had some kind of spring kind of thing going on in here. But no, he can't throw them. It just stays in his fingers like that. So the first Propelling Pizza, you know, this one has got a rat, it has some fish bones, and it has some ninja stars. If you turn it to the other side, it's just completely flat. On the second Propelling Pizza, all you got is this, you got this squished baby turtle. Or maybe he's not squished. Maybe he's like trying to pull himself out of the super gooey extra cheese. I don't know. And then it looks like there's little bits of pieces of pepperoni around him. All right, so it's time to talk about the Pizzaface variant. Now, I don't have the Pizzaface variant because I didn't really find out about it until I was doing the research for this video. That's the first time I really noticed that there was a variant of this guy. And I got this picture from the TMNT Vintage Figure Archive, which is tmnttoys.com. So check that out. So I've looked at this picture, and I've also looked into some pictures on eBay for some item listings to see, you know, around his body to see what the difference is between that figure and the figure I have. And these are the biggest differences that I could see, all right? First of all, the first thing you'll notice is that the knife is painted green. Like the knife on his belly is painted green, right? So that's pretty cool. You have a couple spots painted on the purple hat. You know, those little red spots on the brim of the hat are painted red, much like the, you know, pizza sauce. Sometimes, not always. Sometimes the gums between his teeth will be painted pink. So that's a pretty cool update. However, like the pizza on the back of his hat won't be painted. It'll just be purple like his hat. And then like in the back of him, where you can see like that green like pizza sauce squirter and like the measuring cup or whatever, those won't be painted green. Those will just be white, like the strap is painted white on his back. So that's kind of lame. I've also seen a few of them where the pupils are very big compared to mine. And that's all for Pizzaface. Is he my favorite? No. But he's still an awesome figure to have, and I love his creepy, gross design. This works so well as like a turtle's enemy, you know, turning something that the turtles love so much into an object of revulsion. So thanks for watching, let me know what you think, and have a good one.